What's up, YouTube? This is PN Collector here. Right now I'm going to show you a deck of the month for this month. I'm playing Necrochaos. You pretty much can see it online through either Pause Joker's channel, or pretty much if you decide to look online, a lot of players from the East Coast have been playing it. So I pretty much have been testing it for like the past few weeks. Took it to the Anaheim Regionals. It did okay. It was a 6-3 record. As of right now, it stands at a 18 wins to 1 loss to Lightsworn. It's that consecutive wins you can get from it, and that's really good. I mean, the deck still has a lot to build off from it, and a lot of different ways it can go in. But I'll show you the ones that I have compared to a few other tech choices that people choose, and I'll show you the difference on that. Alright, first thing in the deck is a Dark Arm Dragon. Pretty much with all that's like a Chaos variant, so you'll see why. Tor the Emissary of Darkness. Pretty much is stable with this. It's very, very abusive with this deck. It's very easy, especially with all the OTKs, especially with Lightsworn. With other decks that just aren't ready for it, a lot of people decide not to main this card that often. 2 Chaos Sorcerers. Pretty much once you look further into the deck, you see how abusive this card can be. And overall, removing a card, it's always a good +1. And they're very good for light and dark. It's very easy to do. Cyber Dragon. It being a light helps out with the theme. It being a machine as well and dealing with other cyber rallies, so you can use stuff like Ameritrip Fortress Dragon, helps out a lot. Really good tech card for it, especially. Next up, 1 Chaos, the Shadow Monarch. Really good. I mean, I was half and half about it being at 1, but the fact that I can remove a card is very beneficial, especially with all the dark format going on right now. It's not too bad of a card, and just at 1's not too bad, especially with the synchroing and whatever you want to do with it as well. Next up is 3 Cyber Valleys. This deck uses the 3 Valleys, and another one that I've seen uses 3 DD War Ladies as an optional choice. I like the Valleys more. Speed, draw engine, protection. It's kind of a little bit of everything in one. This effect is very good to manipulate either to draw 2 cards or even just to remove a top card and help out with certain cards in the concept with it. Next up is 2-Dimensional Alchemist. Very, very good card. I'm actually liking this card a lot more in the format now that it's come out. Just remove the top card of your deck. It becomes an 1800 right away. Now, if you have any remove from play cards that are monsters, if this card ever gets destroyed from your side of the field, you can get any one of those monsters back. That's amazing. The fact that you can generate a +1 advantage off of nothing and generate a lot of push normally on what you normally get. And it's a light, so that helps out, too, that it's that. The MVP of this deck, 2 Necro Faces. This card, in my opinion, is extremely overlooked. The fact that it mills 5 cards, and that does affect both players, but you generate so much advantage from using like the Alchemist. You generate advantage from just milling themselves. You play Lightsworn, you single-handedly can take them out with just this card. Not the fact that even if they mill themselves, you can really take out all their options. And what I like a lot about it is that people overlook the fact that it's a public knowledge card. You do this turn 1 with the Gold Sarcophagus, turn 1, you remove 5 cards, you get to automatically know what the person's running right off the bat. And that's really good because it helps determine what you want to do for future moves and understand what you're playing against, that way you don't either overextend or waste cards that you don't need to. Very good card, especially now. And its normal effect, a normal summon, it can gain 100 attack points, which is great. Some people like to play Gold Sarco this format a lot, so you can do it in response to their Sarco, and that really helps out a lot too. Next up is DD Warrior Lady. I tech the 1 DD Warrior Lady over the Grand Madre de Aiza, which will gain 300 for every remove from play card you have, or 400 I believe. And it's okay, but in my opinion, I just like the DD Warrior Lady, the fact that it's another light, removes stuff from play, really good. The 1 Gale, good tuner, pretty much the best one. Splash DD Crow. It helps against other targets, stuff you're not ready for, and your opponent really doesn't expect it. Plus it can help with the dark if you need it. Sangan, searches. Spike Spreader Zombie. Relatively speaking, you can really use his effects a lot, surprising. If you use certain combos that you do with him, it's really easy to do. Now for the spells. 2 Allure of Darkness, good draw engine, you Allure Necroface, top 5. It's very, very good. It helps him do a lot of deck disruption. Giant Trinade helps do for game pushes, helps with backfield oppressions. DDR, Different Dimension Revival, really good in abusing either your Plague Spreader, using any kind of Cyber Valley to dupe. It's very, very good. It's a very good tech card. I only use 1 though. Heavy Storm, stable. Most people try to use the DD Dynamite to opt to run the 2 Book of Wounds instead. It's just to help his defense, and it's actually worked really well for me. Hasn't been too much of a big problem. one barrel from a different dimension. This helps a lot too, just because there are things that you not always want to get removed from play. You get back, and this can help with the Chaos Sorcerers or even the Dark Armor set up for other key combos. Brain Control is a stable. One Machine Dupe with the 3 Valleys. You may not always get this off, but the fact that you can is always a good thing. I mean, it doesn't really hurt you. If you grab their Valley, even it helps you out too. One Lightning Vortex. With all the swarms going around that most people can't really deal with, the Lightning Vortex isn't bad, and if you have the Necrofaces or other cards in your hand you don't need, it helps to just chuck whatever you don't need and help set up for big plays. 2 Gold Sarcophagus. These are mainly used just to help get the Necroface, but in any board to help you get pretty much any card in your deck that you'll need at that time. I mean, if you need a heavy for 2 turns, you need a return to set up, you need even, let's say, just a Dark Armor you want to set up. It gives you that possibility to find whatever you want. And it, like I said, works very well in conjunction with Necroface because you can do a lot of big plays and pretty much good openings. Mind Control with the Valleys, the tuning, keep pretty much becoming more of a stable now. Now for the traps. Follow the Haunted. Right now this is being used. I'm thinking about switching out for an Escape from the Dark Dimension, just because of the fact of all the removing, it might be more beneficial to have that. But Call's been okay too. I mean, it's not the best card, but it's been working out really well. One of the main win conditions, Return from the Different Dimension. This card single-handedly makes everything that you do worth it. It pretty much is both your strong play and a weak play against you, because if someone plays this against you and you've done all that removing, it can hurt you, but if you get it off, it's pretty much you have so much control after that. Very, very great card, especially abusing the fact of all the Necrofaces. 2 Threatening Roars. This is pretty much one of the main things that helps disrupt against Lightsworn, because they can't handle to mill. Now, if they're milling and you're helping them mill, that's just making the situation even worse. And not to mention with Threatening Roars, they can't do anything for a turn. That really shuts them down a lot. 2 Bottomless Trapples. Bottomless pretty much just are becoming more of a stable. This just helps against anything that's big. Whirlwind targets, when they try to bring out 17, 18s. Just helps out a lot. Mirror Force and Torrential Tribute. Pretty much stables, help against mass swarms and destructions. Now on to the, pretty much the extra deck as an idea. At the moment, we're checking different cards at the moment, but pretty much I'll just show you the main stables as of right now we've been using. And this is kind of just to get a general idea, see how many we have. Main thing is a lot of people are overlooking this card, but it's simply amazing right now. It's Chimeric Fortress Dragon. With all the machines going around, even if someone has Valley, you drop Cyber, you bring this guy out. Turn 1 is very easy to do. Next up, Black Rose Dragon, pretty much stable for everyone now. Outroller Archfiend just helps with the targeting, because there's more and more targeting cards going around now, so Spell and Traps just really get pretty much annoying with this. Magical Android, stable. Pretty much not much else we can really say about it. Ancient Fairy Dragon, it's just another 7 right now, but the fact that it has 3,000 defense actually comes in handy sometimes, so it pretty much can help with some plays, especially some field spell locations. A Blackwing Armor Master, because of the fact that alone, you already have a Black Gale, so this could actually be a live play at any point, or if they might have a Gale, it's still good either way. And it's good to have one just in case. Colossal Fighter is a stable, Lightsworn, doesn't really need any more introduction. I choose to keep running Red Archdragon, because you just never know when Red Dragon Archfiend will just be coming in handy, and I mean, 3,000 is not something that really just joke about, so. What I like to run in here are the 2 cards that most people overlook the most, and that's Hades and Doomkaiser. The fact that you're running Plague and that you know that Necroface is a zombie allows both these cards to be available plays. Now, if you do that off a return, you do that off of just being able to play DDR and generate these cards, you can easily bring out a card, and it's very good. And of course, Stardust and Goyo Guardian and pretty much anything else that you feel is tech choices. But in general, the deck is very, very fast. It holds a very strong record against Lightsworn. I mean, overall, it's done, like I said, relatively well. And I do really recommend that if anyone does play it, you can get a good idea, especially, I really hate Lightsworn, so if you do as well, it really does pretty much have a good play to it. And this is pretty much what I call Necrochaos, and thank you for tuning in, and like I said, hope you have other videos I have of the games, so you'll be able to see how it does against Lightsworn, how it does against Blackwing, kind of get a good idea of what it's capable of doing. Alright, thank you, this is PN Collector, and this is signing out.